Hey guys, Money with Yumi here, where I talk about anything and everything related to money and how to grow your wealth. Today I want to discuss when does renting make sense, or if it even makes sense at all. I'm sure some of you guys are like me, and I'll admit I used to be biased, okay? Especially growing up in Singapore, where homeownership is a thing, right? Like getting a BTO or a home before you get married, otherwise you're not conforming to societal norms. Sounds familiar? So I've always believed that you should buy a home if you can afford to, until I had an intellectual discussion with a friend of mine who is in investment banking, and he is currently renting even though he can afford to buy, and why renting makes sense to him. And he brought up some points which I totally agree with, so I'm going to share with you here in this video. Here's the thing. Most Singaporeans live with their parents until they get married. That's our culture, that's how we were raised, but some people might not have that luxury. So to be in a dilemma whether you should rent or buy, that means you're somewhat successful in life, don't you think? So give yourself a pat on the back for having this first world problem. And here are some questions that you should ask yourself before buying a property. And the first one is, how long do you intend to live there? Usually the break-even point is about 3 to 5 years. So if you're planning on moving within 3 to 5 years, then renting makes more sense, especially for foreigners who don't intend to stay in Singapore for a long time, or Singaporeans who are living overseas. The second question is, what kind of lifestyle do you want? Do you want the flexibility of changing your environment every once in a while? Like this year I want to live in East Coast Park. Next year I want to live in Bishan. The following year I want to live in Pasir Panjang, for example. Like, you get my point. Right? Or do you want the stability knowing that this is the place that you're going to be calling home for the next 5 to 10 years, or maybe even forever? And lifestyle could also mean being in a good school district. Maybe you can't afford to buy a property in that area, but you can afford to rent so your children can have a higher chance of getting into a particular school. That's also a lifestyle choice. The third question to ask is, are you financially ready? When you buy, your monthly payments might be higher than if you rent, because apart from the monthly mortgage, you would also have to pay property taxes, insurance, condo maintenance fee if you're buying a condo, and also set aside a percentage towards future repairs every month. So if you're not ready to be committed to a mortgage, then renting would be less stressful. Especially with a place that you own, you're also responsible for all the repairs, like if your AC breaks down, for example, and that's the most common problem in Singapore. But if you're a tenant and you're renting, then your landlord is responsible for most of the repairs, unless you're at fault. Like if you punch a hole in the door, then your landlord is not obliged to repair that for you. But bear in mind, if you're renting, you have no control over potential rent increases, and you're actually paying someone else's debt for them. The fourth question to ask is, are you an active investor? This is by far the most important factor in my personal opinion when you're deciding between renting and buying, because in Singapore, when you buy a property, you need to put a minimum of 25% of the property value as the down payment. So if a home is $1 million, that's $250,000 for the down payment, without including stamp duties, property taxes, repairs, renovations, etc. So that $250,000 is locked up in that property. It's not that liquid. But if you're a business owner or a day trader, you can use that $250,000 to generate higher net returns by maybe getting more inventory or having a larger amount of seed money for your day trade. But of course, you can argue that on the flip side, you're risking more of your money as well. And that's a fair argument, so it really depends on your risk appetite. And obviously, a better way to understand this is for me to show you an example, and you can use this method for any other properties as well. Hazel Park Condo. 2 beds, 3 baths, 979 square foot for $1.6 million. And the past transacted price for this size is $1.46 million in June 2022. So I'll be using this figure. 25% of $1.46 million is $365,000. And then stamp duties for this would be $40,000. So the total would be $405,000 needed for the down payment. With a 3% interest rate for the first year, you're paying $32,537 in interest, $31,842 for the second year, $31,125.50 for the third, $30,387.21 for the fourth year, and $29,626.46 for the fifth year. That's a total of $155,518.53 in interest paid for the first 5 years. But then if you look at rental price for this condominium, $2,300 in July, $3,000 July 2022, $3,005 June 2022, and $2,000 June 2022. The $2,300 and $2,000 per month rent might be low floor and unfurnished, and the $3,000 and $3,005 might be high floor and furnished. We never know. But let's use the lowest number here, and that is $2,000 a month. So let's say you rent at $2,000 a month for 5 years. That's $120,000 paid for rent. Even at $2,300 a month, 5 years of rent would be $138,000. And if you're wondering why the rent is so low, it's because Singapore's rental yield is on the lower side compared to other countries. A mortgage for this condo would then be $4,616 a month at a 3% interest rate. The monthly maintenance fee for Hazel Park condo is about $300 a month, so to buy this condo, you would have to fork out roughly $400,000 in upfront fees, pay a monthly mortgage plus maintenance fee of about $5,000 a month. Oh boy. And if you do a little research, you'll find that rents in mature HDB estates can sometimes fetch a higher price than condos, probably because of the higher square footage, so it might be cheaper to rent a smaller condo. Anyway guys, there's no absolute right or wrong as to whether you should rent or buy because everyone's circumstances are so different. And I've summarized the information I've mentioned in this video into this table. Feel free to pause this video to take a look at it. So I hope this gives you a better understanding on why some people choose to rent instead of buying and why it makes sense for them. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys prefer buying over renting or renting over buying and why. And don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell icon so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And feel free to follow me on my Instagram if you're interested to see what I'm doing in my real estate journey. And if you have any specific videos you want me to make about real estate, feel free to DM me on Instagram or leave me a comment down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.